when we think about protection, there are actually different ways to protect different things, and it depends on what our goal is. You know, if we're talking about protecting a child, we're talking about maybe physical safety, there's a playpen, right? You know, if we're talking about something as precious to me, my car, maybe I'm going to have insurance. That's not going to protect the car from getting damaged. It's going to protect me from having to pay money to replace my car. So different goals kind of drive what our protection should look like. So then we have to ask ourselves, when Prabhupada says women need to be protected, what is he talking about? And that, you know, when we talk about protecting women in not just in ISKCON, but in the larger society, often what we focus on is sexual purity. Okay. And it is important for women to protect our sexual purity and for the society to help us do that. Right. But that's just, you know, the tiny little drop in the bucket. That's not really the foundational protection that we need. So what are we trying to do in ISKCON? Like what is the purpose of having ISKCON and having Vaishnavis in ISKCON? It's for people to make spiritual advancement, right? To become God conscious. And a lot of times we forget that because we're so busy building a project or managing a project, and we start thinking, oh, you know, the goal is to get, you know, this project finished or publicized, or whatever. But all of that is in service of the overarching goal, which is we help people become God conscious. So whatever kind of protection we're offering anybody in ISKCON, it's got to be in the mood of how do we help this person become God conscious. Anytime somebody is saying there is only one role that this devotee can fill, all right, that's not protection, right? If I go to a tailor and, you know, ask to have a suit made, if the suit doesn't fit me, I don't say, oh, there's something wrong with my body, right? I say, you're not a very good tailor, okay? So, hey, what happened there? That's what we needed. and it just reminds me of the way I raised my children. With my son, I understood my duty as a mother was to create Krishna conscious children. So my goal with my son was to turn him into a Krishna conscious person. That did not work out so well, right? My daughter's almost 7 years younger, so I had, you know, learned a little bit. And with her, my goal was to give her a taste for Krishna consciousness. Okay. So my son didn't turn out to be, you know, an active practicing devotee, but my daughter has a taste for Krishna consciousness. And what I learned is we can't make people be what we think they should be. We can't make people into devotees. We can't make people into, you know, submissive, whatever. That's the work we do for ourselves. That's part of our own spiritual journey, right? But we can give people a taste for Krishna consciousness. That's what preaching really means. So when we talk about protection, we have to look at it in terms of what facility am I giving this person to become fully God conscious? And that's going to include helping protect that person physically, helping protect that person's sexual purity, male and female, but also giving spiritual knowledge. And in the purport that we often talk about in the Bhagavad Gita, where Prabhupada says that, or well, Arjuna says, without, if the women are misled, then the whole society falls apart, right? And that's why it's so important to protect women, because we don't want society to fall apart. But in the purport, Prabhupada says one of the ways that we protect women is by engaging them in religious activities, right? So how on earth did we end up with this idea in some places that, you know, stay home, don't worry about it, make you know, nice meals and raise your children, and, you know, let your husband worry about the temple and, you know, active Krishna consciousness and all of that. No, that's, you know, engaging Vaishnavis. And that's what Prabhupada did. He taught Vaishnavis spiritual knowledge. He engaged them in active service. That's got to be included in protection. There are culturally different ways to do that. You may have an all-female space, you may have a co-ed space, but you have to have that space where Vaishnavis can express all of their talents and inclinations in service. Thank you.